Icarus is one of the most unique survival games ever made, and while it has beautiful graphics, great gameplay mechanics, and is overall an amazing game, there are core issues and things that you must know about before you buy it. But Icarus takes place on a hostile alien planet. You play as a prospector, and you are sent to this world to gather valuable resources and survive in the harsh environment. The main goal of the game is to complete missions, gather resources, and return safely to a space station. The ultimate outcome will then depend on your gear, your missions, and unlocking new abilities and technologies. The world of Icarus is vast and filled with diverse landscapes, anywhere from arid deserts to lush forests. The game is nature-driven, focusing heavily on survival, resource management, and exploration. One of the most unique aspects is the dynamic weather system, which can drastically change the entire environment and challenge your survival skills to the core. We'll get way further into the weather system later on. Now, what truly makes Icarus stand out is the mission-based structure combined with deep survival experience, which offers a very fresh take on survival games where every mission will present a new challenge and opportunity. Now, in terms of the main gameplay, you'll start by landing on the alien planet, where you must gather resources like wood, stone, and food in order to survive. As you progress, you'll then craft tools, build shelters, and even fend off wildlife. Some of your first tasks will include chopping down trees for wood, mining rocks for stone, and hunting animals for food. You must then build a basic shelter to protect yourself from the elements and craft tools like a pickaxe or an axe. As you complete these tasks, you can then start focusing on the mission objectives. This could be getting a specific resource or exploring new areas. Additionally, the game mechanics will start off quite basic and then become more advanced over time. So in the early game, you'll be crafting the most simple tools and structures, but as you then progress, you'll unlock complex crafting recipes, which allows you to build advanced equipment and even structures. For instance, you might start with a basic wooden spear for defense, but later on, you can craft more advanced weapons and even guns. Furthermore, the tech tree system helps you unlock new tools and abilities. One of the most important gameplay mechanics that you have to know about is the mission-based structure. So each mission will have very specific objectives and challenges. This could be gathering rare resources, surviving in extreme weather conditions, or building an advanced outpost. This mission system provides structure but also goals, making the game feel quite purposeful but also rewarding. The game also includes a detailed crafting and building system, where you can construct various structures from a simple shelter to even complex bases, which of course all depends on the resources and your current tech level. Crafting also plays a massive role, as you must create everything from your weapons and tools to clothing and even medical supplies. Furthermore, you can even customize and upgrade your equipment, which adds a ton of depth and replayability. And due to the sheer variety of missions, biomes, and challenges, Icarus has a ton of replayability. This can also be seen in the procedural generation of the game world, meaning that every landing zone will be different, as well as all the environmental conditions. And that brings me to my next point, the game's map. And it is large and really designed as an open world experience, allowing you to really explore freely and uncover many secrets. So every mission will take place in a different biome. This could be a forest, a desert, and even Arctic regions. Exploration is therefore a key part of the game, as you must discover new resources, find safe locations to set up a base, and navigate through very diverse environments. And through exploration is how you find valuable resources, unlock new crafting recipes, and encounter a ton of unique challenges that will help you level up and improve your skills. Now, I want to go way deeper into the most interesting mechanic, and that is the weather system. So unlike many other survival games, the weather in Icarus can change dramatically and unexpectedly, adding a true layer of challenge but also realism. For instance, you might start a mission in clear sunny weather, but then a sudden storm could roll in, bringing heavy rain, strong winds, or even snow. These weather effects are not just for the visuals, but can highly impact your visibility, your movement, and even resource availability. For an example, a blizzard can cause extreme cold, which will require you to build a fire or find shelter quickly to avoid freezing. So this weather system really makes the game stand out from the others in the genre, as it will require you to think on your feet and adapt your strategies. Furthermore, it adds a ton of unpredictability to the missions, which encourages you to always be ready with a ton of resources and crafting items. Additionally, the weather system even interacts with all the other mechanics, such as the building or even crafting systems. So you must construct a durable shelter that can withstand storms, and you must also create clothing and gear suitable for different weather conditions. Now, as you can probably imagine, with all these gameplay mechanics and the weather conditions, the game can be quite challenging, which brings me to my next point, the game difficulty. What you'll quickly notice is that Icarus focuses a lot on trial and error approach. While there is some early guidance and tutorials for new players, it does not hold your hand throughout the entire game. This also means that the learning curve can be quite steep, but also making the gameplay more rewarding once you master it. So when you first start out, the early missions are designed to help you understand the basics. This could be gathering resources, crafting tools, and even building shelters. However, the game quickly ramps up in difficulty, where even the most experienced players will sometimes struggle a lot. For example, a sudden storm can roll in and completely destroy your base. face, or a pack of wolves can attack you while you're gathering resources, forcing you to quickly adapt and find solutions. And I would therefore say that Icarus will cater more to the hardcore player who can really appreciate a deep and challenging survival experience. The game will demand quite careful planning and strategic thinking, especially as you progress to the more difficult missions later on, where there will be a big need to constantly adapt to the changing conditions and unexpected threats you'll face. Now, there are different game modes like easy and hard, or even sandbox, where you could experiment or choose something easier for yourself, but the core experience is still quite challenging, and no matter if you play on easy or hard, a lot of the learning will be through trial and error. Now, let's talk about the graphics, the sound and atmosphere. As you can probably tell, the game's graphics are stunning and really bring the alien planet to life, with greatly detailed environments, anywhere from the harsh deserts to the lush forests, making exploring the world visually captivating. Then you add the game's lighting effects, the weather conditions, like the storms and snowfall, adding a ton to the realism but also the overall gameplay. Furthermore, the sound design and music are also top-notch, and play a quite big role in creating an engaging atmosphere. You have the ambient sounds of wildlife, the weather, and the rustling of leaves. It really immerse you into the game world. Then the game music will adapt to different situations, adding a ton of tension during intense moments, but also a sense of calm when just exploring. So together, the graphics, the sound, and music really create a highly immersive experience. That being said, the game is not perfect, and there are several pros and cons that we must cover. The first pro is the high replayability. Due to the sheer variety of missions, the biomes, and the sandbox mode, there is so much content to keep you playing and coming back for more. And whereas some survival games will only have a single playthrough or two in them, Icarus can have many. The next pro is the very dynamic weather system. Just the sheer unpredictability adds a ton to the layer of challenge and realism, making every mission very unique, but also requiring you to constantly adapt to your strategies. The next pro is a challenging gameplay. The gameplay in Icarus is deep and truly rewarding once you learn the basics. And now for the cons. The first con has to be the steep learning curve. This game will be quite overwhelming when you first start out, especially for the newer or more casual player, as the mechanics will be quite complex and the game does not hold your hand much. And the other con is the somewhat grindy content. So after a while of constantly gathering or managing resources, it can feel quite repetitive and grindy over time. All that being said, let's grade the game. And Icarus gets a solid 8.5 out of 10, and for several reasons. First is the impressive graphics, the very deep survival mechanics, and the overall truly engaging gameplay. Then you add the stunning visuals and a detailed environment that create a highly immersive experience. Additionally, the dynamic weather system really adds a layer of realism and challenge, but also ensures that multiple playthroughs are unique and engaging. However, the game is not perfect and there are several drawbacks. First, the steep learning curve and the quite intense game difficulty will be quite overwhelming for new or casual players, as the game will demand careful planning and resource management, which can also feel quite repetitive over time. However, if you can appreciate a deep and challenging survival game with stunning graphics, dynamic weather system, and highly detailed gameplay mechanics, then Icarus might be a game for you, as it will require a high level of strategic thinking, situational adaptation, and a truly immersive experience. If that sounds like you, then Icarus is simply a must-buy game for you, and it's definitely worth your time and money. For more amazing games, click here.